some gunmen came to a location in Wuse, Zone 5, accompanied by about 3 or 4 policemen in uniform, and they said they had instructions by the Commissioner of Police in Kogi State to arrest our candidate Muri Ajaka. Unfortunately, Ajaka wasn't at that location. That location was not his house. Okay. And we don't know what happened, but they were hanging around there for a long time. And our information was that they were all over town looking for Ajaka. Now, there are basic things that any lawyer here will tell you. If you have a warrant that has a particular address as the place you should go,
okay,
you cannot go and execute that warrant in another address. It's not possible.
Yes.
But they were stalking him all over town yesterday. Now we have no idea what it was all about. But we did hear from one of them that he was being wanted for terrorism and gun running because of what happened on June 3rd. Let me remind you about what happened on June 3rd. On June 3rd, Ajaka was going home to Kogi with a motorcade. At about 12:30, 12:40 in the afternoon of that day, the motorcade was attacked. Bello himself, there was no proxy. He drove a Mercedes-Benz and crossed the road to prevent Ajaka from passing. And government came out of his car and started raining bullets on Ajaka's car. The last press conference we did here, the pictures of that car was, the pictures of bullets and all that, you saw them here. We managed to escape from the place. The Navy, the Navy, the DSS, every other person, everybody was aware that our candidate was going home. Then they tried to spin that Ajaka attacked them. And of course, we were able to repudiate their falsehood. Because it wasn't possible. Ajaka was going, Bello was coming from behind and overtook to cross the vehicle. And I had explained a lot of times what happened. Most people don't know who we're talking about. You see, the general impression is that when you hear that somebody is a governor, at least there's a minimum level of comportment, a minimum level of honor that you expect. But I'm sorry to say this, and I'm actually embarrassed to say this, but in Kogi State, what we have in place of the governor is an outlaw. An outlaw. Any thug on the streets can favorably rub shoulders with the governor. The governor left Abuja because he heard Ajaka was on his way to Lokoja. When Ajaka took off, his convoy took off from here, there were social media people on the convoy who started posting the convoy. That was when he got to know. And the governor's staff, his convoy staff and all that, they were not present. And he couldn't wait for them. He took a Mercedes-Benz, moved with his chief detail and a few others, and called some people to intercept Ajaka on the road. We have our information. When these people were coming yesterday, we already knew. No matter, there's nothing that happens in that place that we don't get to know. Because most people there are living under compliance. They are living under fear. So they give us information. So this information I'm giving you, this information we got from inside. And Bello now decided to take off from Abuja and started pursuing Ajaka. He knew the itinerary. The itinerary was that Ajaka was going to visit the traditional ruler of Koto, Ohimegi of Koto. So when Ajaka spent time there, as the time he moved, Bello had closed in. Close to Lokoja, we met one of the commissioners, and Ajaka stopped to greet him because Ajaka was friendly with a lot of them. And shortly after that, Bello crossed, overtook, and blocked the road, and he now opened fire. The spokesperson issued a statement that Ajaka came to attack Bello. A lot of people on the convoy ran helter-skelter. Some people received bullet wounds and they escaped. They burnt some cars because they had mobilized some thugs ahead. From here to Abuja it takes almost 2 hours. They had mobilized some thugs to join the attack. So a lot of people ran, scattered into the bush and all that. And the vehicles, they burnt some vehicles. The one that had SDP branding that they saw, they didn't burn that one. What we later saw on TV was that there were guns in that pickup. We saw a gun in that pickup. That is what the commissioner of police in Kogi State, one Hakim Additional Yusuf, is calling Alhaji Murtala Ajaka. The guns planted by Bello is what he's calling Ajaka to come and answer, and he's accusing me of terrorism. And let me tell you, you know why he's accusing me of terrorism? They will take him before a local magistrate court or high court, and terrorism is not ordinarily believable. Then the judge will now say, okay, go and remand this man in prison. And of course, when we say this, we're not saying because we don't have confidence in the judiciary. That's not what we are saying. Bello is a total conqueror. If you remember, cast your mind back, the chief judge of Kogi State, the former chief judge of Kogi State, Justice Ajana, Nasiru Ajana, Bello hounded Ajana, cut the light to his house, cut water, cut telephone, cut everything. Ajana was being stopped and hounded. When he reported Ajana to the National Judicial Council here, accused him of all sorts of crimes, they investigated Ajana and gave him a clean bill of health, and he couldn't tolerate it. So he started harassing the man. Gunmen will come and shoot guns in front of the house of the chief judge and all that. Until one day they said Ajana took sick, that he had COVID. He never had breath problem or anything, and he went to the isolation center in Gwagwalada. After that, we heard that the man had died. Bello said there was no COVID in Kogi. If you remember, that was very popular, wasn't it? So how did Ajana, who was staying in Kogi, how did he pick up COVID? So Ajana was the only person who officially picked COVID in Kogi and died. And that was the man Bello was hounding. And Bello came to his burial at, what do you call this place? Gudu Cemetery here. Okay? So when we say a judge in Kogi, judges in Kogi have been intimidated to do Bello's bidding, we're not saying it's because our judges are corrupt. They are not. I personally have knowledge of Kogi State judiciary, and there are lots of them are honorable men. But how many of them can stand the governor who is an outlaw? That's why I gave you the story of the chief judge. So if Bello takes, or the Kogi State Police takes Ajaka before a judge in Kogi, you can be sure that they will give order that he should be detained indefinitely, possibly until the election is over. And that is the plot. That is the plot. And if you must know, anybody who has disagreement with Bello, what you need to do to qualify as a terrorist in Kogi was a 300 vote advantage over the APC candidate, PDP candidate in the central, so that they can merge, so that he was able to get the Senate from the place. But the presidential election there was lost. But in Kogi East, where our candidate now used to be in charge, was the one he was the one who commanded the APC campaign there. Every local government was won by the APC. I was a PDP man. Till today, a lot of people, a lot of candidates contending in PDP, they hold him responsible. But even those candidates that he delivered in PDP, in the APC, none of them can openly say they are supporting Ajaka. Not one of them, not the senator, not the House of Reps member. That's why I'm telling you that the man is a total conqueror. Nobody has the courage to say I'm supporting Ajaka there. If you do that, their cases are in the tribunal. They believe that Bello will move into the tribunal to make them lose their seats. So none of them will come out okay. But the House of Assembly members from Kogi East, who hearkened to Ajaka and worked for the success of Tinubu in Kogi East, the moment they came back, he declared them terrorists. So if you check the results of the presidential election in Kogi East, which was commanded by Ajaka then, was totally, all the 9 local governments was won for President Tinubu. And in Central, where Bello was in control, only 1 local government was won in the Senate. But the 5 of them, for Tinubu was lost. These are facts. So those House of Assembly members were declared terrorists. They were declared terrorists and suspended from the House. And Bello was going to go after them so that they will arraign them in court and clamp them into detention when the people started screaming out, "We're not terrorists. What did you do? How did you do terrorism?" And all that and all that. So the moment you are against Bello in Kogi, you are a terrorist. I will give you an example. This young man you see here, his name is Okwo. The police commissioner, Yusuf, will tell you that the man is a bandit, is a terrorist. I do not dispute that. As a matter of fact, it is difficult to defend this particular fellow you are seeing here. Very difficult to defend him. Okay? But I will tell you something. This guy was in jail. He was a prisoner in Kogi and had about 16 years to go in prison. He was sentenced to over 20 years. I think for murder or for whatever, I can't remember what it was. Bello gave him pardon and freed him from prison in the run-up to the 2019 election. This man was freed from prison and unleashed on the people of Kogi East. So they were broke, they were not collecting salaries. There is no record of any project in Kogi in the 8 years Bello has spent. If you take into account the allocations that have been collected in Kogi State, they are well in excess of 200 to 300 billion. Everything that is on ground in Kogi State is less. I mean, if you calculate it, is definitely less. So the man is desperate. The only way he can win elections is to use maximum violence. That is why Bello hires dogs, he frees dogs from prisons. Okay? Now the only threat he faces now is Ajaka. Ajaka coming out, the people are accepting him. The thugs he's using are renouncing thuggery, they are renouncing violence to support Ajaka. So what he has done now is, number one, target Ajaka, take him out of the way. That way he will be able to win. The only way he can stop Ajaka is possibly to kill him or to get him locked up, or maybe arrange a kangaroo trial where he will be sentenced and called a criminal. Okay, that is the only way you will be able to stop him. So I'm sorry.
It's almost been said off, but one critical emphasis I want to make is the fact that we have a commissioner for information that is good at twisting facts, and they are, and he does it proactively. I had some of the junk information he placed before people a few days ago, I think yesterday, on goings on in Kogi State, particularly on the issue of the attack on the State Directorate of Campaign Office, State Directorate Campaign Office of the Muri Ajaka. We have the photographic impression of the APC boss used by the thugs to convey themselves to that place in the process of carrying out that dastardly act. And they came in there, we have videos to show, where they pulled down our campaign materials and set them ablaze. But he was trying to twist the facts as they were. I want to tell you that in addition to this I have just said, is the fact that we have it on good authority that in the next couple of days they have procured vehicles that at the moment they are branding with the logo and the pictures of Muri and myself, which their thugs will be using to parade the streets of Kogi State.